Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, text number 17. What is the tick sound? Just see what it's set to other microphones or something. Hare Krishna. Okay. It's not. I will fix it. Taistani aghani puyante. Taistani aghani puyante. Tapodana vrutadibihi. Tapodana vrutadibihi. Nadharmajam tad drudhayam. Nadharmajam tad drudhayam. Tad apishangri sevaya. Tad apishangri sevaya. Taistanaghani puyante. Tapodana vratadibihi. Nadharmajam tadhrudayam. Tad apishangri sevaya. Mataji's. Taistani agani puyante. Tapodana vrutadibihi. Nadharmajam tadrudhayam. Tad apishangri sevaya. Taistanaghani puyante. Tapodana vratadibihi. Nadharmajam tadrudayam. Tad apishangri sevaya. Word to word translation. Taihi, by those. Tani, all those. Aghani, sinful activities and their results. Puyante, become vanquished. Tapaha, austerity. Dana, charity. Vrata adibihi, by vows and other such activities. Na, not. Adharmajam, produced from irreligious actions. Tat, of that. Hrudayam, the heart. Tat, that. Api, also. Isha Angri, of the lotus feet of the Lord. Sevaya, by service. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. Purport. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42, Bhaktihi pareshanubhavo viraktir anyatra cha. Devotional service is so powerful that one who performs devotional service is immediately freed from all sinful desires. All desires within this material world are sinful because material desire means sense gratification, which always involves action that is more or less sinful. Pure bhakti, however, is anyabhilashita shunya. In other words, it is free from material desires, which result from karma and gnana. One who is situated in devotional service no longer has material desires, and therefore he is beyond sinful life. Material desires should be completely stopped. Otherwise, although one's austerities, penances, and charity may free one from sin for the time being, one's desires will reappear because his heart is impure. Thus, he will act sinfully and suffer. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gauravaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desires in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations. We see here the conversation between the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas is continuing in the 6th canto. And the Vishnudutas are making this statement. The important thing to note over here, so beautifully Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport, all desires within this material world are sinful, because material desire means sense gratification, which always involves action that is more or less sinful. One can try different means of being happy in this material world. You can follow the Manu Samhita, you can follow the Shastras in how to properly eke out sense gratification from this world. But it will leave you with dissatisfaction and sin. There is a very good example in the Bhagavatam of King Pururava. King Pururava also had another name. Anybody remembers? Aila. Aila was his other name. So, there is a description of how Pururava was living in the earthly planet, and he was longing for heavenly happiness. Right? See, he was such a powerful king. He was regularly invited to Indra's court. So he would go there, and then he would see that, oh my God, I can imagine the happiness in this material world, even if he is a king, versus going to the heavenly planets. Significantly different level of happiness. To put it in context, let's say you go to some older part of Bangalore or something. You may have a nice house, but still there's filth all around you, right? King, pum pum is continuously going on, right? Continuously, right? Any street in this thing, no, there's noise. There is pollution, there is heat. There are people of different classes living. Even you might be rich, but you will be forced to see poor people, right? I'm just giving from a perspective of how a rich person thinks, not that that is nice or wrong. Now, same thing, you go to Atherton. Right? Anybody knows Atherton here? It's right here. You can go on one visit, you can do. The medium home value, here right next to Palo Alto. Good thing you don't know. If you have to give an address which signifies wealth and power and prestige, it's Atherton. Huh? Oh, medium house is $4-5 million. Oh, medium income is. I doubt if you can survive in Atherton with $500,000 income. You would be considered poor in Atherton if you have $500,000 income. So you go there on Atherton, you will see all massive mansions, and their lifestyle is different. People living there have no concept of, paycheck and rent and this. And these are all things way beyond this thing. So similarly, think of Pururava went to Indra's palace. He's seeing heavenly pleasures. So imagine somebody from some small part of Bangalore is put into Atherton. And so he was longing. It is said that he would come back in the night and he would dream, oh, what heavenly pleasures are there in Indralok. At the same time, Urvashi was in the heavenly planets, And she was jaded by the, consistence of high level of pleasure. And she was constantly longing for material world happiness. It is said that she would leave from, she would because it's always 24-hour air condition. You want to see some, little bit of heat so that now you can feel the sense pleasure of. It said that she would come to the material world, and when she would walk, little dew and little this, she would say, oh, this is nice. And so regularly, she would come from, in the night, she would come from the heavenly planets to the material world with her friends to enjoy. This shows you live in Atherton, you want to be in Bangalore. You live in Bangalore, you want to be in Atherton. Neither of them is happy, both are longing for something else. So on one of her trips to the material world, on her way back, she got abducted by a demon. It so happened Pururava was in that place. And Pururava knew Urvashi. He was actually lusting after her. But he thought, this is beyond my imagination. Thoda mera reach ke upar hai. And he was just lusting over her. And he saw this, oh, she's being taken away by a demon, let me rescue her. And he goes and rescues her. In that process, it is said that their bodies touched. And Urvashi was like, oh, what is this thing? The fiend of, she was very enamored by the warmth of material bodies. And you can imagine, Purura was always longing after Urvashi. So he's in heaven. And then, there was sparks, between them. And they were longing for each other, but they didn't know what to do, how to express. And they went each their separate ways. It is said that Urvashi came back and they figured out that both of them like each other. And Urvashi married Pururava. It's a long story. I will cut it short to 5-10 minutes. And Pururava enjoyed a level of happiness that he could only dream of. She had made some conditions. She didn't want to be entangled in this material world after all. She wanted to go back and come. She doesn't want to just stay here all the time. She put some conditions. If I ever see you naked in public, then I will go away from here. Pururava said, that's a very easy condition. What is there? Why will I be naked in public? And so he said, fine. So one day, what happened? She had a goat, it seems. She had a goat pet. And one of the devas stole that goat. And Pururava was with Urvashi in the bedroom. And as soon as they could hear the shouts of the goat being taken away, she said, what kind of a man are you? You can't, save even my pet goat. And she suddenly, it's, chivalry gets awakened. And he starts running behind that goat. At that point, he doesn't even realize that he doesn't have any clothes on, and he just goes like that. And because Urvashi saw him like that in public, she said, I'm going away. And there's a description of how much agony Pururava was feeling. He's calling out to her, please don't go, please don't go. Long story short, later, she makes an arrangement that only once a year she will stay, in this earthly planet. And Pururava would long for that one day. Whole year, 365 days, he'll be only thinking that one day I'll be with Urvashi. And then she would go away for the whole year, and he was living in agony, missing her. And she herself gives the idea, what is the solution for this? He said, worship the Gandharvas and they'll solve your problem. And he goes and finds out a particular yagna to be done, and involves a lot of all the stages and everything, and does a big yagna. The purpose of the yagna, he wants to be with Urvashi. And then he goes, in his next life, he gets promoted to the planet of the Urvashi, and he lives over there. And that's where this story in that canto of the Bhagavatam ends, and we think, oh, he lived happily ever after. Later, in the 11th canto, there is a description of Pururava finally, after going through this, when you can imagine, earthly life and going to heavenly planet, doing all these things, thinking that this is going to give him happiness. And then he suddenly gets spiritual realization. And he wakes up from his bad condition. And then he actually becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. And there is a part of the Bhagavatam in the 11th canto, 26th chapter. It's called Aila Gita. So Aila Gita is Pururava's, who's also called Aila, reminiscing on his inglorious past and talking about, how do you be careful about material sense gratification. And he talks about his entire story over there in the 26th chapter, very interestingly. Very nice verses that should help us, shake us up from our attraction to this material sense gratification. See, this story is there in the Bhagavatam, this history, to give us an idea that even if you are the emperor of the world, you are longing for something else. Even if you're in the heavenly planets or Urvashi, imagine who is Urvashi. Right? One of the most beautiful women in the entire universe. You are longing after material, this mortal world. I mean, none of these things can ever make you happy in this world. And Srila Prabhupada is so nicely saying, any material desire means sinful activities ultimately. And then, what do you do? How do you get out of this? See, there are very interesting points in the purport. In such a small purport, Prabhupada is packing so many things. Pure bhakti, however, is anyabhilashita shunya. In other words, it is free from material desires which result from karma and gnana. One has to go from material sense gratification to anyabhilashita shunya bhakti. Now, one who is situated in devotional service no longer has material desires and therefore is beyond sinful life. Material desires should be completely stopped. When you read this, completely stopped. Otherwise, although one's austerities, penances and charity may free one from sin for the time being, one's desires will reappear because his heart is impure. Only devotional service will free the heart from the pangs of material desires. Now, we can't suddenly go from our current condition to being completely materially desireless. Right? One should learn the art of how do you go up the ladder. You are here and you have to reach here. Can you directly do that? Yes. But while doing that, you will still have these contaminations over here. And so you have to keep raising yourself up so that the gap from here to here is big. The gap from here to here is only this much. And then one day you will be here. Right? All our life, all our activities, we should understand the laddering of this material world. The Shastras say that every single activity we do, every single interaction in this world is contaminated by the three modes of material nature. Tamoguna, the lowest mode. Right? Next is Rajoguna, Sattvaguna, and then Shuddha Sattva. The only difference between Sattvaguna and Shuddha Sattva is that Sattvaguna in this material world is not 100% pure. That's why we even say the difference. It is Shuddha Sattva. 100% Sattvaguna is nothing but Shuddha Sattva. So essentially there are three levels. Now, every part of our actions, we should aim for stopping material desires and only engaging in the service of the Lord. But there are different aspects to our life. How do we do that? How in our every action, every moment of our 24 hours, we're only getting satisfaction and happiness and pure bliss from being engaged in the service of the Lord. How do you get there? That is the secret of a devotee lifestyle. So what we'll do now, for the next about 7 minutes, I'll just split you up into less people here. Maybe about 4 groups I'll make still. Maybe, let's see here. I'll still make 4 groups, but give you only 5 minutes. Here's the thing. Let's divide the 4 groups and I'll explain what to do. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Say loudly. Who is 2 there? Who said 2? You said 2. 1, 1. She said 4, so you're 1. She is 4, you are 1. You are 1. 3. Okay. Everybody remembers the numbers. Let's get 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 there, please. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need a mic now. Anyway. 3 here, okay. 3 is here. 1, 2, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 will make it. That is 1. This is 2. This is 3, that is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For Sevya. This is 2, right? Okay. One group has only 3 people. You can get a little closer for discussion. Okay. So I'll give you 4 problems. First group has watching movies problem. Watching movies and TV, whatever, that kind of TV serial movies. Second group has social media problem. Always sitting on Facebook, YouTube. Third group has foodie problem. They want to eat snacks, restaurants, this, that. Fourth group has dress makeup problem. They want to always, dress up nicely, show off in parties, So start from, a person who is fully engrossed in the problem. See, this mental exercise is very helpful. To say, what does a person who is doing this in full sense gratification, what is their life like, right? So first thing what you do, I'll give an example, so that we can, but I'm helping the foodie group, but No, but I'll just give you the example. So what is the completely materialistic person who is engrossed in food? What will they do? What is the worst thing you can do over there? That's all. Huh? That is the worst thing you can do, just always eating outside. Huh? Overeating is the worst thing you can do. As far as eating is concerned, what is the worst thing you can do? We kill all kinds of animals, everything that moves. You know how they'll kill a living octopus and eat it. Right? They will say, they will point to an animal, say, cook it for me. You know that, right? So start from a full sinful person. Then how do they go up? What are the levels up? And identify only about 4 levels. Okay? And what is it that you can do to come up? You understand? Yeah, you want to go, what is the highest level in eating? You can go a little higher. That also you can refine. Offered prasadam only, but you can overeat prasadam, like somebody said. Can't you overeat prasadam? Like Prabhupada, when he initially started the movement, he said, eat till here. And then later Prabhupada said, hey, why are you eating so much? Then those devotees said, Prabhupada, you only told us eat till here, we are following your instructions. Yeah, at that time that was my instruction. Now this is my instruction. Right? So like that, think of different levels. Okay, so we have only about 5 minutes to discuss your problem. So somebody who's engrossed in watching movies, this thing, suddenly you will say, oh, only find the highest activity over there. If you suddenly tell tomorrow you do that, can they do? Can somebody who is eating meat every day, this thing completely engrossed, can they immediately just give up? Some gradation has to happen, right? Think like that. See, our process, with strength somebody can give up. But not that, everybody can. So what would you give them advice to do? Right? So take 4 levels, tell what your level is, and how do you go from one level to the other. You got 5 minutes. 7:20, 5 minutes. The clue would be, think of tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, and then completely Krishna. Those are the 4 levels. I'm giving you a clue there. You can join any one of the groups. 2-minute warning. Okay. 30 seconds to go. Okay. Time is up. All the groups, please pause now so that we can hear when others are discussing. Group 3 and Group 4, no more discussions. We'll listen to Group 1. Okay, you got 1 minute, huh? Is it turned on? No, you turn on the...
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Okay. Who's your spokesperson?
Sakara Prabhu.
You got only 1 minute.
Yeah.
You lost your 30 seconds in deciding your spokesperson.
Yeah. So for the movies, obviously 4 stages. So first stage, the worst thing is like watching the movies all the time.
That's all, huh?
Most of the time.
Is that the worst thing you can do?
I
What
mean,
is tamasic movie watching?
Violence, bloodshed.
like
Violence,
yeah.
bloodshed. Pornography. Violence, bloodshed is Rajoguna.
Okay.
I mean, you should have, that's why I said, have clarity in your thinking.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, we are always thinking just movies only. So our mind, we couldn't think
So
beyond.
that's why I gave you the clue. Tamasic means, what is tamasic? Watching pornography is tamasic.
Yeah. So
What is the rajasic version of it?
a level up is what we thought is limit the time of watching, but we obviously did think in that way. So, right, and watch, just change it to something else where the content is little less than continuously the same content. So, next level is the content is what we were thinking. And then after that, watch Krishna conscious movie is the last level. Yeah, third one is inspirational, motivational movies, just to deviate and then go a level up.
Yeah.
And then at the end, watch the Krishna conscious movie.
Yeah. See, watching pornography is sinful. Watching, latest, who is the latest, I don't even know film actors' names anymore. Whatever latest movies, Hindi movie, Telugu movie and all that, is rajasic. It's not tamasic. You'll get happiness, distress, but it's rajasic still. Then, sattvic is watching something connected to Krishna. Right? You can even go one more level higher. You can use, if you're really that interested, you can use that to do a drama or something. Srila Prabhupada enjoyed dramas. Right? He would get the devotees to this thing. And this was the art form. And go to any village in this thing, they'll do Ramayana, Harikatha and all that, right? You do it, you enact. Why watch somebody else do? You do yourself. No? And that is the pleasure. Everybody wants stories. They want to enjoy the pleasures of it. Okay. Oh, we lost too much time. Yes.
Our topic is social media. So the worst level, ignorance level, is to be like spending a lot of time during the day, like maybe 6 hours or 8 hours, and being part of all the social medias like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter.
1 minute. Don't tell our story. Tell quickly the don't go.
So the next level is to set the time limit for ourselves instead of like maybe 4 hours. Just gradually coming down to 1 hour. And the next step is to just subscribe for only Krishna conscious related websites. And the last step is to dovetail everything for the service of the Lord, and using the same social media platform to propagate the messages of temple.
One important thing is, while you're laddering up, you don't give up this. What I'm saying is, right from your lowest level, add something at the highest level. Meaning, you can watch Krishna conscious things, look at these things, because you can't do that all the time. That is a reality. Okay, we have only 2 minutes. Okay, next group, quickly.
You already gave a lot of clues, so it's the same thing. Tamoguna people, they are not at all compassionate. They will kill and eat. Even if it is rotten, sometimes they will eat. And then the next level, they will come down to eating low-level animals, like insignificant, smaller things. And then they will continue eating that. And then again, a lot of desires they will have. So they will eat that, this, and they have a lot of things that, okay, today I will eat this.
1 minute, quickly.
Next one is goodness. In the mode of goodness, they will stop, restrain from meat, eating all those things. And then still they have desires. Today, we need to eat this, that, and then they will have for their sense gratification purpose. And then Shuddha Sattva, they will try to offer it and then eat in a limited way. Whatever is necessity for the body, they will eat in that level.
Eat only prasadam.
And
right?
only prasadam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last group, we'll just give them 1 minute to quickly summarize. And we'll... Mataji, please.
Yeah. The tamasic way of... Hare Krishna. The tamasic way of dressing oneself is too much of modern outlook.
Like exposing yourself
Right.
and all that, with very clear purpose. You'll see some of these people, like the Kardashians and all that. The purpose of dressing is to attract the opposite sex in a very gross way, right?
Yeah. Then then the next stage is we slowly come from modern to traditional wearing.
You can be Rajasi. It doesn't have to go from tradition. Western dress also can be very sattvic. I mean, Rajasic. Come to Sattva Guna also. Okay.
Then the next stage is even in tradition, expensive versus what bare minimum we need.
Okay.
And the last stage is dressing up Krishna. Dovetailing our dressing up propensity to dress Krishna.
Because ultimately, that is the only thing that will actually satisfy us in this thing, right? And we simplify our needs. We are doing a little this thing. Okay. Let's go ahead. Gantrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Bol Premanande.